Hello and welcome to another video, and welcome to Fruits of the Beloved. Hanging out my washing on a warm autumn day, and the thought is illuminated to me about the process the seed has to go through before it can even sprout. I've just planted a bunch of seeds in the garden for the autumn planting that I'm doing. A lot of it is experimentation, but we're planting nonetheless. So I've put all of my seeds in dirt and I've watered it. And I had been contemplating the fact that I needed to keep it watered. And I was wondering to myself, we're keeping the seed in the soil, we're watering it. There's a process happening in that moment for the seed. The process is essentially its outer shell is rotting away due to the conditions that it's in, so that the shoot can appear. And that's essentially what we need to do when we are being renewed. When a new seed of an idea is being planted in our spirit, when we're planting seeds out into the earth, we need to allow for that little space in time where something else is rotting away, something else is being removed, so that the idea can be planted, can break through. And we have to keep those conditions just like that, so that that can occur. If we're going with the mentality that we want to plant the seed, but we don't want the outer shell to be wrecked in any way, we don't want that beautiful seed to change, then no change is going to occur. And that's the same with ourselves as well. When we are becoming a new identity, the old identity has to burn away, and we can know that. But if we don't allow the space for that, and we don't push the conditions upon ourselves for that rotting away, that breaking away to occur, then even if the seed is planted, there will be no new shoot. You plant a seed in dry ground and it will just stay in its whole form. Perhaps over time it might change, but if you don't apply the water, or you don't put it in the ground in the first place, nothing's going to happen. It needs a specific set of conditions for that outer shell to rot away, and then a specific set of conditions for the shoot itself to continue shooting and blooming. And that is a whole different process that requires tending to. It had been on my mind because I talk a lot about plants and how, as natural tenders of the earth, we mimic them in the ways that we grow. And I'm in a season of my life now where seeds had been planted, but I hadn't been in the right conditions for them to push out. So the seed stayed stagnant in my garden, waiting, and now I'm finally in the condition where there's enough watering. My seed is in the dirt, and now finally I can release old habits, ways of beings, identity, to allow room for that shooting to occur. I hope this is something that nestles in your spirit, and is the right inspiration for you at this time. Because we can be really resistant to change. We do enjoy the way things are. But the garden cannot be full and blooming if those tiny, minuscule, rotting away moments don't occur. And that's going to be happening in our lives, obviously. And rotting is and change. That's a bit of a painful process. It could look like a painful process. It's like the caterpillar going in the cocoon and then emerging as a butterfly. Its whole insides are literally rearranged so that it can become this new creation. It's not pretty. It's not painless. It is what this earth reality is also made of, which is life and decay. And we need to embrace the decay and the death of things in our life as much as we embrace the life, because life comes from decay the same way decay comes from life. It's the continual circular cycle of this creation that we've been planted within. And so with glee, with a ridiculous amount of glee, I embolden and ask you to welcome the death of things in your life with love. Welcome the rotting away of parts of yourself with love, because within that decay, always there's a life. Without that decay, there is only stagnation, and you already know what it feels like to exist in a state of stagnation, yearning for the change that you know was already supposed to occur but couldn't because the conditions weren't realized. So, yeah, learn to love the death and decay as much as you love the life. And then I think we can get a fully rounded, pretty enjoyable experience, because we're choosing to enjoy the experience, whatever the experience actually is. Amen? Amen. All right, bye.